Good morning. Welcome to Real Talks Dominate Real Estate. I'm Amy Lassen.
And I'm Eyerusalem Meaza. Grab a cup of coffee and let's make your real estate career better.
Wonderful. Well, Eyerusalem, I'm so excited to be co-hosting today, and I'm eager to hear what is in the news this crazy day before Halloween.
In this morning headlines, young Americans are rushing to become homeowners in the pandemic. While the overall homeownership rate dipped slightly in the third quarter from the previous quarter's high, it continues to grow among those under the age of 35. Americans in that category had a homeownership rate of 40.2% last quarter, up from 37.5% a year earlier, according to the newly released U.S. Census Bureau data. Competition in the housing market has accelerated during the pandemic, and record low mortgage rates are offering some relief from higher home prices. First-time buyers made up 31% of home sales in September, according to the National Association of Realtors. The homeownership rate among those 35 to 44 years old also increased, rising more than 3 points to 63.9% in the third quarter. Other age groups have the following ownership rates: 72% for those ages 45 to 54, 76.4% for those 55 to 64, and 80.7% among those over the age of 65. Despite the gains among some age groups, the U.S. homeownership rate in the third quarter still dropped overall to 67.4%, a 0.5 decrease from the second quarter's highest rate since 2008. Still, the homeownership rate is up from 64.8% a year earlier. All four major regions of the U.S. saw an increase in annual increases in homeownership rates in the third quarter. Homeownership rates are highest in the Midwest and South at 71.2% and 70.8% respectively. Meanwhile, homeownership rates are lowest in the Northeast and West, both at 62%. In other news, despite our important focus on COVID-19, lead safety in the home remains a high priority for all Americans. The U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development is joining the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, and additional partners in highlighting the issue during the National Lead Poisoning Prevention Week, which is this week from the 25th to the 31st, tomorrow. According to HUD Secretary Ben Carson, many residents and maintenance workers don't know the risks when performing renovations and lead repair work in older homes. By providing families, public housing staff, contractors, and others with this basic information, we can eliminate lead-related health hazards and protect American families. Lead poisoning is only detectable by blood testing, and to create more awareness, NLPPW's main themes are: get the facts, get your home tested, and get your child tested. To help commemorate the week, federal partners released a comprehensive digital toolkit in English and Spanish, as well as a special webinar program with leading experts. The webinars include sessions on how to safely renovate and repair and lead poisoning prevention efforts during COVID-19. HUD and its partners are targeting their NLPPW outreach to broad audiences. These include lead poisoning prevention and healthy homes advocates, state and local health, environmental health, and housing departments, building inspectors and code enforcement officers, lead hazard control grantees, university educators, and others. These stakeholders play a key role in helping to spread the word within their local communities and taking steps aimed at lead poisoning prevention. Last but not least, trick or treat. Here's how to adapt your home for candy seekers this Halloween. Like many holidays and celebrations in 2020, Halloween is sure to look different due to the COVID-19 pandemic. For those who plan on doling out candy for their neighborhood, ghosts and goblins, consider these ideas for a safer way to accommodate trick-or-treaters. The CDC is recommending one-way trick-or-treating this year for those still partaking in Halloween. Rather than having children ring the doorbell, arrange candy outside in advance for curbside pickup. This way, children can visit your house for treats in a contact-free manner. Instead of the traditional candy bowl, consider filling small bags with a few pieces of candy and lining them up on the front steps or driveway. These Halloween goodie bags mean you can stay inside the house and trick-or-treaters avoid the germs that come with rifling through a communal bowl. You also can get creative, have extra string lying around, create a zip line perfect for transporting contact-free confections from your front door to the sidewalk. Or if you love a good engineering challenge, encourage neighbors to a friendly competition to see who can build the most creative system for delivering candy. If accessible, place a hand sanitizer bottle with a pump top outside to encourage neighbors to clean their hands in passing. If your house won't be participating in trick-or-treating this year, you can still enjoy the holiday by decorating the house's exterior with creepy, crawly, and festive decor, carving or painting pumpkins, watching scary movies, and enjoying Halloween treats like pudding dirt cups, candy corn, and of course, your favorite pieces of candy. All right, next I'm going to be talking about the mortgage interest rates. The 30-year fix is 3.0%, 30-year jumbo is 2.875%, FHA is 2.75%, and VA is 2.75%. All right, next I'm going to be talking about the market stats. In the last week in Hampton Roads, we saw 712 new listings hit the market, 737 properties go pending, and 658 properties sold. In the last week in the Washington metro area, within 30 miles of the White House, we saw 1,311 new listings hit the market, 1,752 go pending, and 1,427 homes sold. Now we are going to transition to the spookiest topic in real estate. Welcome back, Amy Lassen.
I'm so excited to talk about this terrifying topic. And I know everyone thinks we're kidding, but when we start talking about it, you go, oh yeah, yep, that one scares me too.
Yeah, we wanted to do something special today, and we were going through some things, and this, I think, is going to be the spookiest, scariest topic. So today we're going to be talking about the scariest, spookiest topic of real estate, which is managing, growing your database.
I wish we had a live audience so that we could see the looks on their faces, and they're like, yep, you're right. I didn't expect it, but you're right. That's the scariest.
I know, it is. And recently I put together a growing your database class with Amy. And so we figured this would also be a good way for me to briefly, describe the class overview and the scary parts from an agent perspective. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to briefly discuss what the outline is of the class. So we know many of our agents do not have a database, or do. Most of the times when I'm talking to agents, they'll say, hey, my phone is my database, which can be considered a database, right? Sure. Because the way we define a database is pretty much a stored location for all your contacts.
Right.
Whether it's an Excel sheet, an address book, anywhere that you have all your contact information. Yeah. So you can consider a phone to be your database, or any spreadsheet or piece of paper, however way you collect all of your people's contact information. But also you want to incorporate everybody that you know. And one of the most important group of people that belongs in your database is the sphere of influence, your sphere of influence. And I remember a couple while back, Amy defined sphere of influence with anyone who, if they were to buy a house without you, you'd be pissed. That was the definition of SOI. So you'd be unhappy if anyone you know used a different realtor. Well, then guess what? They belong in your sphere of influence. They belong in your phone book, your contact book, whatever database system that you have. All right. Now I'm also going to be talking about CRM. CRM stands for Customer Relationship Management. So pretty much the relationship that you have with your database is through your CRM. Many people do get CRM and database mixed up. So when you're nurturing your database around the quality and the quantity of those relationships and keeping in contact with them, that is what you are to do with a CRM.
I think you're making a really good distinction, right? Like your database is the list of contacts, and the CRM is the tool that you use, the software that you use to help you stay in touch with them over time. And that's where most of us drop the ball. And that's where most of us panic. The scary part is I don't want to learn new software. It's too hard or it takes too much time.
It is scary.
Okay. So tell us more about CRM. Explain the details.
Well, the database is the fuel that makes the CRM run in attracting customers, generating sales, executing, marketing campaigns, logging in your recent interactions with a client. And also if you are, the CRM platform is organized in a way for you to filter people. So if you are trying to make calls for, property anniversary dates or birthdays of the month or holidays and things like that, the CRM is core to helping you nurture that database and laying the foundation for keeping in contact with your agents, right? So, with your clients. So it's one thing to have all your contacts in a spreadsheet, but it's really important to consistently communicate with them, which is why I put this class together because, even though it's titled Grow Your Database, we're going to discuss action items later at the end about, managing your database and things like that. And then I also briefly discussed like the sources of contact. So if agents are like, where I have everybody on my phone or I have everybody in my Excel sheet, in my database, where else, you're always going to be meeting new people, whether it's in your personal life, whether it's in your professional life. So sources of contacts include open houses. So you want to make sure you have an attendance sheet, you have a record of all their contact information so you can follow up with them. And a good one, Amy, that you had pointed out were like the people that you don't know, like the friends of friends or the family of clients. Because you made a really good a point when you were showing, I think you were showing someone at home and that client's parents were with them, right? Okay. Yeah. So you never know who is going to refer you, right? So it's really important, most of the clients, I'm assuming that you represent, they'll have someone come in with them. Maybe they'll have their friend or their parent or their brother help them, throughout the decision-making process. So you want to make sure you have their contact information, even though you don't represent them in the transaction, right?
Right. Yeah. You're always looking for opportunities to add people to your world.
Yes. And further growing your database is, hosting client events, virtually, maybe inviting a new person to a seminar or holiday Popeyes. So, dropping off a pumpkin or a pie at their doorstep. And then some neighbor next door is going to hear about it, like, hey, who did this for you? Oh, this is my realtor, Right. So that's a great opportunity for you to build your database by engaging with those people. Mm-hmm. And, make sure to maintain social distancing guidelines. And as I discussed before with the trick-or-treat tips, you can put candies in like separate bags and, you can, put your business card on there and drop it off to kids in the neighborhood or, there's different ways to go about that for sure. Another thing that I mentioned in my class was the distinction between personal and professional networks. And I think that many agents, when they think of their database, they go straight to professional. You want to make sure you have, whether you're doing a newsletter, whether you're doing social media campaigns, you want to make sure you have people in your personal aspects of your life included. And so that they can still, stay informed of the market and the content that you're sharing with them because, they're friends of friends, they're family of friends. So in my memory jogger exercise where Amy and I discussed a while back, we had, all of the different circle of friends that you can include. So, people from your hometown, your neighborhood, former classmates, and things like that. So it's not always necessarily, your clients or people from the professional realm.
You're making such a good point. I have so many coaching clients, and this is a super source of real frustration for me as a coach that I feel like, how do I define this? How do I explain this better? They'll say, I only market to my past clients. And I say sphere of influence is anyone who knows you, that you know them, right? It's mutual. You have influence over them because of your connection, and they have some level of confidence in you. I always say, don't market to people you don't like. Like, you can exclude those, but if you know them and they know you, there is a 10% chance that they're going to need to buy or sell a home. So bring them into your world and educate them, and don't exclude them.
Yeah, because that person knows another person, and that person knows another person. I mean, it's a huge referral platform.
Yeah.
Also, another part of growing your database is, meeting new people. And I think this is also a spooky part, or a scary part, because it really has to do with, taking the initiative and introducing yourself to potential business people, or to new people that you find, whether it's in a networking event, in a seminar that you're invited to, or even in LinkedIn. I did incorporate that because everybody here is connecting with people, virtually. LinkedIn is a great platform, which I am teaching in LinkedIn for real estate class, coming soon. But do you have any tips, Amy, for agents introducing themselves, sort of like I guess an elevator pitch? Maybe they should just come up with some standard elevator pitch so that they don't get stuck when someone's like, hey, and they're not just going to be like, here's my business card. Right?
Well, I think the challenge is right now during COVID, that's probably not going to happen. You're probably not going to be networking. So what I would recommend in the virtual world is to work on your system, because you can create that same elevator pitch in text or email, a video email. Ideally, we're sending both touches to our professional network of realtors who could be referring to us in our market, and then also to our entire sphere of influence. So for me, the elevator pitch would be very specific to me. Let me think. Generalized elevator pitch. That it's been a crazy year, right? It's been a crazy COVID, plus the incredible demand for homes, which may or may not be COVID related, right? It kind of seems to be its own phenomenon. And so it's been a crazy, crazy year. And I'm here to answer the questions that you have, right? So what questions do you have about the pace of our market? And everybody has questions, right?
Right.
Should I sell? Should I move? Is it hard to find a house? How much more is my house worth? So I think there's never a bad time, either to other agents or to people you encounter. I bumped into a lady walking yesterday, and we just talked about, she's like, well, what is COVID like for you? And I said, well, I just use my coaching and training skills to help real estate clients, right? People who want to buy and sell, they need to be educated too. So I always lean on my skills as an educator, but every agent is going to do it a little bit different. So maybe that's not what you were looking for, but I think in this virtual world, what you need is a system more than anything.
Right.
Every single day, you need to be staying in touch, and we'll give you some action. We'll give you some action at the end.
Yes. And you also made a really good point, because it made me think about some agents, that I communicate with on a daily basis, that I check in. And I think in the beginning, around March and April, it's like when you're trying to call your clients and check in on them, it's like, I don't know what to say. This is scary. With everything going on, and now it's been 7-8 months, and we're getting closer to the holidays, and I think it's still good to talk about. It's a very crazy market this year, so it's definitely a conversation starter. And you have the holidays coming up, and you can still discuss that like you do, every other year.
Yeah.
I don't think you don't necessarily have to say hey, with the pandemic this year, there's different ways to kind of go on with the conversation or initiate the conversation when you're calling your past clients or your friends and family, without having to directly mention real estate in the beginning.
Sure. Well, for those who need scripts, was it our last show or the one before that we offered 10 scripts, 10 things that you can say, 10 things you can ask when you call your sphere of influence? And that's on dominaterealestate.com. You can download that from our last show.
Yep. And another thing that I discussed was pretty much further growing your database, with the low inventory that we have this year, and a lot of new construction homes are building up. So connecting with other builders and contractors, developers and builders in your area, and building a referral system that way so they could be your go-to agent. That was also one of the big parts. If like there are people that are, now buying land and just building their dream home. So I think it's really important to have a go-to source for that. And not just builder and contractors, but also there are people moving in this area and out of this area. So if you are, there are definitely other referral sites that you can check on to see agents. I know Remax is a really large referral platform, but for agents outside, there are referral sites where you can check on agents to refer to outside of the area that you specialize in, and build a referral platform that way. So it's a really good connection to have. So it's also really good to have real estate agents in your database as well.
All righty.
Yep. And the last thing I was going to mention is the 5-a-day contact program. So start your day by thinking of 5 names of past clients or referral sources. Talk to them and add them to your database if you don't have them. But Amy put together a really, really nice a set of action items. So it's not as scary as it sounds. But a lot of the things a lot of questions that I get asked, Amy, is, hey, I don't feel like picking up the phone, or I don't have time to incorporate this into my business. And what are the strategies around that? I don't have an assistant. I'm doing all this on my own, so there's no time. And so we want to discuss the steps to making it work for you. But at the same time, we both agreed that this was a scary topic because it's something that agents will definitely push back on and add it to their bottom of their list in terms of priority. But it's also a really, really important part of their business.
Right. Well, I just want to kind of recap and say the reason to market to your database is because it is the most cost efficient, time effective way of generating business. And it's the most, I think it's the most satisfying when you can nurture a large group of people over time, the same group of people, rather than starting over with strangers, starting over with new online leads, starting over with new open house leads every single month. It's wonderful to nurture the same group of people over time. You get to be a part of their life. You get to be a part of their journey. And so I think no matter what, this should be the foundation of your business, is nurturing your database. And if your database had, say, 300 names, the average coach and trainer estimates that you will get about 10% of them to use you or refer you. So that's 30 potential transactions out of those 300. So yes, all the excuses in the world. I don't know how to use my CRM. It's too complicated. I don't have time. I'm super busy. Whatever it is, I don't know what to say. I don't want to be pushy. You and I have heard it all, right, Eyerusalem?
Yes, we have.
No, I get it. I really, really get it. Here's the thing. This is worthy. Right. It's worth doing. So what I want to convince you of is I hear it. I hear what you're saying, and you're going to have to find a way to do it anyway, because it's the best possible way. And I want all of you who tend to say this, and I'm an agent too, I've had those same thoughts and said them too. You've got to push it. And I compare it to, if they didn't have a deadline for filing my taxes, I wouldn't do that either. It's too hard. I don't have enough time. It's too complicated. I don't want to learn all the moving parts. Yep. I've got that excuse there too, but there is a hard and fast deadline and I cannot miss it. So look at that. I figure it out and I file my taxes every year. We are capable of mastering this, and I think it's time to let go of the excuses. You do have to learn the software that you choose. You do have to add to it every week. You do need to make your calls on a regular basis, or you will not have regular business. If you're afraid of what to say, start by just being kind. Just call and say, how the heck are you? And nothing else, and work your way up to it. Habit will take you everywhere. So that's my little pep talk, is that the busiest among us is making excuses, because you could pick up the phone while driving somewhere and call one person and say, how have you been during COVID? What if you did that every single day to prove to yourself that you could? So those of you who say, you don't understand, Amy, I have 12 under contract, my hair is on fire. If your taxes were due, you'd figure it out.
Right.
So I really want to encourage you to at least do one a day. And I'm going to share my screen. I don't know if that will help. We'll see. I'm going to share my screen and show you this list that I made of action items. Alrighty, so here is the 9-week action plan. By the way, as of yesterday, there are 9 weeks left in the year.
Yes.
So week 1, baby steps. Okay, we're going to get you on solid food in a really easy way. Week 1, call one person every day. That's the entire assignment, right? And it can be as simple as, it's been too long, it's ridiculous, I couldn't let another day pass. And then don't talk about real estate, just ask them how they are, right? If you need a gentle warm-up, you could also look at the 10 scripts that we offered previously, everything from how are you surviving COVID to are you interested in your home's new value? Any of those would work. Week 2, call one person every day. Then add people from your home onto your social media. Pick 5, right? Go through your phone and go, oh, I'm not connected to this person on social, right? We're going to start trying to cross-pollinate the contacts in our phone, the contacts in our CRM, the contacts on social. Week 3, I really wish we could get feedback about, actually, Nancy's here. And there's someone else here, but it doesn't say who their name is. We've got a couple people here. So go ahead and put your names in the comments so that we can call you out by name. Tell us if you think this is too easy or too hard. Week 3, call one person every day. Add people from your phone onto your social media, pick 5, and the new addition, set up your CRM. Now, week 3 isn't going to be fun. Setting up a CRM, that's where we all sort of curl up in the fetal position and claim we don't have time. But you just got to do it. You just got to do it, just like taxes. So if you are at RE/MAX Allegiance, contact Jerusalem. She'll help you set up your Boosh CRM. Otherwise, here's a recommendation. Realty Juggler is a mere $179 a year. Go pay for that and don't overthink it. It's relatively easy to use. Oh, let's see. We've got people chiming in here. Jerusalem, who have we got? Nancy, Karen Davis. Yay! Yeah, so maybe easier said than done. Oh, did it stop sharing? Oh, I better stop. I don't know what happened. I was scooting around to try to see the comments and I messed up the screen. Did I?
You can share your screen again.
Okay.
You just stopped share.
Okay, cool. All right, so week 4. Call one person every day. Add people from your phone onto your social media. Pick 5. And spend 1 hour this week adding categories. Once you've set up a CRM, basically, you're going to have to keep massaging it over time. Working with a CRM, you got to have a healthy relationship with your CRM. Can you imagine setting up an email account and checking in on it like once every 6 months? It wouldn't do you any good.
It's really a good analogy, though.
I'm old enough to remember the beginning of email. My very tech-savvy ex-husband was determined to have me on email, and no one else was. It was like the two of us talking to each other. No one else used email. So that would be ridiculous, right? To have email and check it once every 6 months. Same for the CRM. It's got to be something that you learn to use and that you use it every day. This is how you're going to grow your business over time. So spend 1 hour this week, week 4, adding categories. Categories would be, this is an A quality contact or a B quality contact, or they came from an open house, or this is a past client, or this is a friend. Those are the types of categories and tags that you would add depending on the CRM that you choose. And we can talk about CRMs on another show. I have a lot of recommendations. Actually, if you guys need recommendations, reach out to me, but don't overthink it, because you could get the best CRM in the world and then tell me it's not perfect and then not use it. So right. Every CRM has a learning curve. Week 5. Call one person every day. I hope you're noticing a trend. Guess what? Those of us who are too busy to make our calls, if we did 1 a day, that's 365 in a year. Didn't see that coming, did ya? It adds up. Add people from your phone onto your social media. Pick 5. Spend 1 hour this week adding categories into your CRM to your contacts, and add 2 people. Add 2 people. Now, this is the story of me driving, people around to buy their first home with their parents in the back seat and having it not be top of mind to me to say, hey, would you like to receive my newsletter? Would you like to receive my market updates, and add them to my CRM? So look for opportunities to grow your CRM over time. Add 2 people every single week. That would be about 100 a year in your database that you grew.
It adds up. It adds up.
It adds up. Okay, let me scroll here. Is it scrolling? It is scrolling. Okay, week 6. Call one person a day. Add people from your phone to your social media. Spend 1 hour adding categories and tags. This is the cleaning, the organizing, the keeping your CRM healthy over time. Add 2 people. Sign up for the monthly newsletter. You at RE/MAX Allegiance are so fortunate to have somebody else do this for you. The number of coaching clients who would probably trade one of their pets for somebody else to do the newsletter. You have that option. Sign up for the newsletter. And you don't even have to create it yourself. You just have to lift up, pick up the phone, send an email, and get signed up. Week 7, call 2 people per day. I'm finally upping the ante. Call 2 people per day from your sphere of influence. Ask how they're doing. Ask if they want to know their home's new value. Ask how they're surviving COVID. Share your buyer needs, whatever it might be. Say, I've got buyers I can't find homes for. Who do you know that's getting ready to list or is considering selling? All that sort of thing. 2 people. Add people from your phone to your social media. Spend 1 hour adding tags, organizing your CRM, and add 2 people to your CRM. Week 8, I gave you a break. Week 8 is a repeat of week 7. Same. And week 9, call 2 people every day. Add people from your phone to your social media. Spend 1 hour this week adding categories. Add 2 people to your CRM. And now it's time to do home value reports. Incredible time of year to tell people what their home is actually worth. You don't need to call them in advance and get their permission. You can just do the reports and send them to them as a gift with a wonderful cover letter explaining why you're excited to tell them how things have changed. I hope that is inspiring. Let's see. Please send me this list. Ooh, somebody likes it. Too easy. Thank you, Nancy. I'm so glad that Nancy weighed in with too easy. Oh, the hat? Which hat?
I think your cowboy hat.
So I hope this helps those who need to be in action and those who say it's too easy. I'm so glad to hear that. Really take seriously that we have these 9 weeks left and figure out what is going to be your own sprint, okay? Whatever makes good sense for you to sprint to the end of the year. Right now, we are creating the reality that we will wake up to January 1, and boy, does it feel good to wake up January 1 with a lot in the pipeline. So I encourage you to reach out to your people, sign up for the newsletter, and create a weekly habit for the rest of your career.
Yes, and this is really important because right now we're trying to finish the year strong, and I can't believe we have 9 weeks left. I mean, we're almost in November anyways, the last 2 months. So it's really important to think about not just the market that we are in now, but also, what's to come in January and February, and making sure that you have, enough people, potential clients in your pipeline to prepare you better for next year.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we need to sign off, but somebody said, please send me this list, and it doesn't say what their name is. Karen, I see you did, but one other person. So Nancy says too easy. Karen says, please send it. One other person said, please send it, but it doesn't have your name. So please put your name in the comments so that we'll know who we're sending this to. But everything is always on Dominate Real Estate. Yeah. You can download previous shows and previous resources. We're there for you.
Yes. And so thank you, Amy, so much for joining me today to discuss this spooky topic on managing and growing your database. And, I hope that, this 9-week action plan makes everything sound less scary. Scary enough, less scary enough to handle. I remember you said the ghouls and the goblins in your database, right? So this should be a lot more manageable to do. But if you have any questions, I'm happy to help you. And maybe we'll look into having this printed out. This is a good action plan that we can perhaps add to the dominaterealestate.net. Thank you so much, Amy, for joining me, and hope everyone has a wonderful and safe Halloween weekend.
Bye, everybody.